This box is mainly gold and silver age. They came from a lot of different places, but there were mainly two collections. One was an estate sale, and it was interesting because the guy bought it seems like from 1951 to 1961, he got a comic like every few months, and always different. And like this little Huey with the infinity cover, and this little Audrey was a first issue, first Harvey issue. And Jigs is interesting because it's got a prototype little Dot story in it, where a little Dot is like a regular little girl. Homer the Happy Ghost, Dan DiCarlo. Billy the Model, Dan DiCarlo. Kool-Aid Man, Dan DiCarlo. These are March of Comics comics, Popeye, and Woody Woodpecker. Some little giveaways from the shoe store. Rex the Wonder Dog, one of my prized possessions, and a coverless Rex. Great Gil Kane art. Western Roundup, it's got a nice Russ Manning story in it. Tomahawk, Gangbusters, Star Wars, All-Star Western, Wyatt Earp. Action Comics, this is one of the better ones. Superman, and Uncle Scrooge #1, which was mainly what made me buy the collection. And this, I think, is #3 and number 17. And then I had a few others already. This is Tweety and Sylvester #1, a 4-color comic. This Bugs Bunny Vacation Funnies is arguably the first appearance of Roadrunner. Ludwig von Drake. Grandma. This Crime and Punishment is all Alex Toth. Got that on eBay. And these are Alex Toth. Zorro. Fun. This has got Alex Toth and some Dave Stevens inking in it. This is a cool story that's all Alex Toth, like 30 pages. And Jumbo Comics. Can you tell what I like about that? Wings Comics. Typical faded colors. Gunfighter, it's an EC. This is Strange Worlds #1. It's got some great Kirby art in it. And this is an random golden Fiction House book, coverless. This 87th Precinct is the very last job that Craigstein did for comics. And Geronimo and his Apache Murderers. This is a piece of original art by Ryan Dunleavy for Moby Dick. This is from the last issue of Promethea, which was 2 posters that came with this booklet signed by Alan Moore and Williams. Animal Annex, I think that's Shelley Mayer. And Fox and Crow, I think that was done by a guy named Jim Davis, not the Garfield Jim Davis, but another one that worked for DC. Sugar and Spike, this may well be the first black character in DC Comics. Sugar and Spike, always liked that title. Sheldon Mayer. And this is the very last issue. Random Dennis the Menace and Mighty Mouse. Tom and Jerry. Winter Fun. Tweety and Sylvester. Walt Disney. Donald Duck Beach Party, Mickey Mouse in Frontierland, Walt Disney's Picnic Party, Little Lulu's. It's always been one of my favorite covers. Fall, good time of year. Del Giants, Little Lulu Halloween Fund. Jackie's Diary may be one of the first autobiographic comics. Kind of a weird footnote. Stamps Comics with art by Roy Krinkle. Sky Ranger, it's a British comic, reprinted in America. Clyde Crash Cup. Choo Choo Charlie, that's John Stanley. Super Mouse. Felix the Cat. Quentin Durwood. Freddie the Hot Rodder. Porky Pig. Richie Rich. Rough and Ready. Timmy the Timid Ghost. Super Goof. And Tom and Jerry. This is my silver and some gold box, number 2. It's mostly all funny stuff. Starting out with Andy Panda. Astro Comics was a feature that Harvey did they gave away on American Airlines, and they would have different books, Richie Rich or Casper or Little Audrey. Baby Huey. Always was fascinated with that character. Baby Huey Papa. Beetle Bailey. Bluebird Children's Magazine. Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny Vacation Funnies, Del Giants. Casper. I got most of this collection. This guy came into the flea market and he was trying to sell his collection to one of the vendors there, and he wasn't interested. But he said that I could buy whatever I wanted if he didn't mind. So I bought a big stack from him. Luckily, I happened to have $100 on my pocket or whatever, and I got about a short box and a half. Daffy. Dennis. Donald Duck. I think that's a Barks issue. At least a Barks cover. Donald. Elmer Fudd. Felix the Cat and Friends. These are Golden Age. Felix the Cat. Always like that cover. So cool. And these are 4 colors. I think that's Hardy Boys number 1. Donald Duck. Beetle Bailey. Davy Crockett. Daisy Duck Diary. Duck Album. That's a Barks issue. Elmer Fudd. Huckleberry Hound. The Jetsons. Joe Palooka. Little Audrey. Little Audrey Clubhouse. Little Dot. Little Dot on Aunts and Uncles. Uncles and Aunts. And Audrey and Melvin. I always dug that cover underwater. There's a Halloween issue. Prototype robot cover. And this is Playful Little Audrey, which is a later incarnation. And we have Little Lotta. And Little Lulu. Little Max. And here we get into some Looney Tunes. And Bugs. He's always up to something. And Mickey Mouse. I was never that big a fan of Mickey Mouse comics. Richie Rich. Richie Rich Gems. Richie Rich Fortunes. This was an odd little comic, Our United States. And a little digest of Barnaby Quarterly from the 1940s. Okay, this is DC box number 1. This is Action Comics. A lot of times I buy these just kind of silly covers. Superman eating a bunch of burgers. That's a great Gil Kane issue. And Adventure with Supergirl. And the Spectre. Great Gray Morrow issue. Plastic Man. That's just a weird dollar book. All-Star Western. It's a series that I'm having trouble finding. There's a Darwin cover. This is a terrific issue. Jimmy Palmiotti, Justin Gray, and Darwin Cook. This is the final issue of the new 52 series. Animal Man, Brian Boland covers. Random Arat comic. Random Atlantis comic. That's drawn by Esteban Morado. That's why I picked that up. Ooh, kind of a big book. Batman 200. The Neil Adams cover. And just some random Batman. It's got some Gray Morrow inking on it. Killing Joke. Elseworld. It's Elseworld. Free comic book day. There's a Ditko Creeper. Strange Sports. Random Brave and the Bold. Challengers of the Unknown. Christmas issue. DC Presents. It's a Joe Kubert issue. This is a cool issue. Weird Stories with the Bernie Wrightson cover. And Detective Comics. It's got Manhunter and an Alex Toth cover story. Love these 100-page giants. And that's the climax of the original Manhunter series. Just some random detectives. That's a great cover. Death of the Doom Patrol. Superboy. It's a DC Giant. Dark Mansion. Flash. Just random Flash. I don't know why I got those. The Geek. A Mike Allred. Vertigo issue. Green Lantern, Green Arrow. Harley Quinn, Amanda Connor covers, and insides on some of these. Love those Amanda Connor covers. Harley Quinn Power Girl. The Hitman, the Demon. Heartland, Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon. What a pair. That's a great book. Heroes for Hunger. House of Mystery. Random old issues. House of Secrets. It's got Eclipso by Alex Toth. And a nice Coluda cover. ISIS. Jonah Hex, it's a Wrightson cover. Jonah Hex. And it's sort of the New 52 series. I really enjoy that series. It's so good. And a lot of great artists. Jordy Benet. Those are some of my favorite issues. This is DC box number 2. Picking up Jonah Hex at number 22. I'm just gonna go through these quickly. I don't really have that much to say other than Jonah Hex by Palmiotti and Gray and many different artists is one of my favorite series. The stories are really good, and the art is often exceptional. Corbin cover. Darwin Cook. Benet is my favorite. This is so good. Darwin Cook. That's the last issue there. Next is Johnny Thunder. A lot of Alex Toth art. Random JLA. JLA with a Darwin Cook cover variant. JLA Hitman. JSA Classified, a great Amanda Connor Power Girl series. And this is a later story by Green Lantern story by Paul Gulacy. DC Special, Hitler on the cover, like Paraback Justice Societies, Elongated Man, Giant Size Commandy, Penguin, Phantom Stranger. Love that apparel cover. Nice. And these are Frankenstein issues by Mike Kaluta. Plop number 1 by Basil Wolverton. Power Girl. That's a Gillian Marsh cover. Rima. Scalped. Jonah Hex in Secret Origins by Gray Morrow. Nice. Blue Beetle. Gil Kane. Sergio Aragonis destroys DC. Shadow. Frank Robbins Shadow. He didn't do too many covers, so I kind of really enjoyed the Shadow covers that he did. Very underrated artist, Frank Robbins. I admit at the time I was disappointed that he took over from Kaluta. Well, I think someone else did an interim issue. But looking back now, really good stuff. Psychedelic Amanda Connor cover. Solo. Here's Mike Allred issue. Darwin Cook. Jordy Burnett. Bernay, how do you say it? Howard Chaykin. Scott Hampton. Starfire. It's a great Amanda Connor cover. It's a DC, Super DC Giant with Jerry Lewis. Superman, the final issue by Alan Moore, Kurt Swan. World's Funniest, that's Evan Dorkin and Friends. Superman Family. Lois Lane, that's my favorite cover. I can never marry you, Lois. You're too stupid to know that I was Superman under this Clark Kent glasses. Lois Lane, miniseries by Gray Morrow. Excellent. Jimmy Olsen. Super Team Family with Shazam. Swamp Thing, The Wrightson issue, Batman. And some Swamp Things. And Tales of the Unexpected, that's Jack Kirby cover and story inside. And finally, Tales of the Unexpected, or just Unexpected. This box has kind of a lot of oddball stuff, a few Josies here in the front, then some DCs, and some war books. That's Josie number 2. She's Josie. And she's Josie, number 10. Ooh, she's not that cook. And a monster issue. And Secret Society of Supervillains. That's always a wonky title. Weird War, Blue Western, I mean. Weird Western Tales, Jonah Hex, Scalp Hunter, and Weird Western. It's got a Darwin cover, or no, George Bernay cover. Weird War, that one's got a Darwin cover. Gray Morrow. Riding the Bomb. And Ryan Bowen. Adam Hughes. This one may have pissed a lot of people off when it came out. And Trina on Wonder Woman. The Legends of Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman 800. And some other random Wonder Womans. World's Finest, number 250. Is that Jim Aparo? This is a great title, Laugh, by Peter Bagg and Gilbert Hernandez. About a rock and roll band, the most popular rock and roll band in the universe, but they can't make it on Earth. Yeah. And these are my war books, I guess. The Navy. Dynamite Joe, Warfront Comics. And some Charlton. Fighting Army, War Attack, Fighting Navy, War. Attack, 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 attack. That's a cool old one. And we get into DC's, Sergeant Rock's Prize Battle Tales. Our Army of War. Men of War. Cool. Sergeant Rock meets, is that the Viking Prince? Battle Stars. Prize Battle Tales. Love those giants. And Sergeant Rock. And Our Fighting Forces. Gunner and Sarge. There's a Kubert cover. A lot of these have Kubert covers. I think that's why I bought them. A lot of them have Kubert stories too. And we get some Kirby, Our Fighting Forces. Those were so good. I can't. Sergeant Rock. Battle Special. Dinosaur issue of Star Spangled War Stories. And Enemy Ace. That's a Kaluta cover. Big GI Combat. American Men of War. It's a badass Russ Heath cover. Another one. And Men of War. And we get into Marvel's Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos. It's got a sprinkling of these. I really dug Sergeant Fury when I was young. I had most of them. Gil Kane and John Severin, I believe. Number 100. This issue is probably the best job that Dick Ayers ever did. It some really great layouts. I think if Steranko had drawn that issue, everyone would know about it. And, you know, like these reprint issues with new covers. Sergeant Fury annuals. And Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos. That's the John Paul Leone series. Captain Savage and his Leatherneck Raiders. First appearance of Hydra, oddly enough. And this is an old Atlas Navy Combat. It's that Joe Manley cover. And a stray Sergeant Fury. What's that doing there? And this was a great series, Wednesday Comics from 2009. It was tabloid comic strips format. It folds out to a full, double, quadruple size, and had some terrific artists doing DC characters as comic strips. Wednesday's Comics. Went for a year, I think. Or was it 12 weeks? I can't remember. I guess I should open one of these up and give you a sample. Oh, see, it opens up double. That's right. Full size. There's Batman, Commandy, Superman. Dead Man. Green Lantern. Isn't that awesome? This is my first Marvel box. My Marvel collection is probably my weakest and least to be proud of. Here we've got Adventures of the Thing with the Man-Thing. A lot of these I picked up in dollar boxes, I'll be honest with you. Not all of them. This is a cool one. Inhumans. This is a Jack Kirby Inhumans issue. War of the Worlds. Craig Russell. I brought these when they came out. Not these particular ones, but I followed this book when it came out. I was a big fan. So I picked these up cheap for reminiscence. Oh, that's one of my big books, the second appearance of Black Cat. I'm not sure where I got that. This is a Barry Smith Kazar. I dig this cover, Deathlock, Rich Buckler. That's a really nice condition copy too. And this is a pretty sharp copy of Avengers 118. Picked that up at a flea market, I guess. And a few good Avengers. Frankenstein. And of course I love those Jack Kirby covers. '200, I like the Centennial issues. Not sure why I picked up these Avengers. I'm not a big Avengers fan. I guess I had some money one day. Bruce Banner. It's a Rich Corbin series. I like that very much. Captain America, big Kirby fan. And also some of the later ones by Romita. This is a fantastic issue. It's half John Romita and half Gray Morrow. Really a good book. And this one's by Gil Kane. It's got a particularly great page. And Frank, he's getting into Frank Robbins. When these came out, I was so upset, with Frank Robbins art. I don't know why I was so stupid. I didn't realize how good he was. So I've been putting together my Frank Robbins collection. Really entertaining. And now we're getting into the Kirby issues. I still need a few of these. Shout out to Mark Resnicek, the drummer of the Toadies, and a friend on Twitter in the old days, who sent me a lot of these Kirby Captain Americas at a really good deal. I was glad to get them. This one I picked up at a show. It's a Kirby annual. Captain Marvel. Pick these up from time to time if I see them fairly inexpensively. The Champions. I don't know. I like Ghost Rider. Conan, number 34. I don't know why I got that. This is a Barry Smith issue of Daredevil. And some Random Defenders, 100. I like those Centennial issues. Devil Dinosaur, good old Kirby. And Doctor Strange, with the Juggernaut, the Gene Colan issue. I really enjoyed Gene Colan, Doctor Strange. So he did some really cool stuff. Tomb of Dracula with Doctor Strange. Not a lot to say about him. I just like that. I like these Marshall Rogers issues of Doctor Strange. He did a good job. I think that's Paul Smith. And this is a beat up copy of Strange Tales with Doctor Strange. Marvel Milestone FF number 1. And this is one of my better kinds. It's got a little water damage, but you can't hardly notice it. It presents very well. Number 54. This is a real sharp copy of 131. Not a key or anything, but it's got some good art. I can't remember who did it. And this is just some random Fantastic Four. These are Kirby covers. No, that's not. This is, though. And random Ghost Rider with the original Ghost Rider. Gene Colan, Howard the Duck. Human Fly. I think is that Don Heck? Interesting. I love these Hulks with Herb Trimpe, inked by John Severin. They're so good. So good. And some Hulk annuals. Just have some interesting stuff in them. It's True Believers. I thought that was a reprint of Hulk 1, but it wasn't. And the Invaders. It's a Kirby cover. And Frank Robbins inside. Very fun books. It's another Kirby cover. Another Kirby cover. Iron Fist. Iron Man, that's got a Kirby cover. Is that Iron Fist have a? No, that's Cocaine. These Iron Mans, that's got a Kirby cover. I just picked up, I think out of Dollar Books. I think this is a Paul Smith issue. These two. And a random Atlantis Attacks annual. Now this is my lowly Marvel box number 2. Starting with John Carter of Mars. This John Carter of Mars number 18 is the first published professional work by Frank Miller. It's not the first job he did for Marvel. That was later published in a Hulk annual. Call of the Conqueror. Great John Severin cover there. Maria and John Severin. Journey into Mystery. Got stuck in there with the Coles. Out of order. Mike Plug issues, I believe. Machine Man. Good old Kirby stuff. And the Barry Smith issues. An interesting progression on the covers. Marvel Age. Marvel Collector's Item Classics. Marvel's Greatest Comics. It's a cool Starling cover. Marvel Feature with the Red Sonja, Frank Thorne. Iron Fist, Marvel Premiere. Mark of Cain. It's Howard Chaykin, I believe. Mark of Cain. Coming of Caleb Hammer. That's a Gil Kane cover, but inside is Gene Day artwork. Dominic Fortune. It's Howard Chaykin. Doctor Who. It's got a Gene Day cover. Marvel Tales. Marvel Tales 138 with a reprint of Spider-Man 1. And Marvel Tales. Marvel Team Up. Gil Kane cover. Just random Marvel Team Ups. And Marvel 2-in-1. There's a Kirby cover. And Master of Kung Fu. This is my favorite Marvel title, I guess you'd say. I've certainly got the most of it. Love these early issues with a lot of different artists, but then eventually Paul Gulacy took over and did some great stuff. I also have Gil Kane covers. He was the man at that time for covers. There's a Gulacy cover. Badass. That's a Jim Starlin cover. Another Gulacy. Another Gulacy. And we get into some of the Mike Zeck issues. That's Zeck inked by Gene Day. So good. Death Boat. And that's that. This box is better indies, stuff that I really like. Berlin by Jason Lutz. Blue Ribbon, that's got a Kirby cover. And Bunny, I think she was drawn by Hy Eisman. Kind of an interesting Archie ripoff. Charlie Chan by Areola. I don't know what I'm doing with this. I just always kind of like that. Crime Classics. These are shadow reprints with some Bruce Timm covers, I think. Cursed Pirate Girl in the Devil's Cave. This is a trippy book. I mean, if you want something that you could read for hours and hours, you should see this book. Ed the Happy Clown. This was a reprint that they did. I had problems with this. I always had problems with these little drawn-in quarter books when they were coming out. My comic shop would just miss them and not get the issues in. It was very frustrating. Or Else by Kevin Huizinga. Is that how you pronounce his name? I always kind of liked this stuff. E-Man by Joe Staten. I remember buying these when they came out. These are not the original ones that I bought. Things I picked up in dollar boxes, I think. Fatima, The Blood Spinners by Gilbert Hernandez. Love his stuff. Louis Riel. This is by Chester Brown, a biography of this Canadian character. Another one that I never got the last issue. I finally had to get it from my comic shop. This is volume 2 of Love and Rockets. I think it's volume 2 from 2000. It's kind of an homage, Iamese homage to his first issue of Love and Rockets. Such a good series. And this is Luba from Gilbert. 2 copies of number 1. I just can't get enough of it. Palomar. I guess they'd come to America by this time, maybe. I think about it. I haven't read these since the early 2000s. And this is Luba Comics and Stories. Concentrating on the women and girls. Madman Jam with Mike Allred and Bernie Marat. Measles, that was a kid's book that Fantagraphics did. Had a lot of interesting stuff. Nice Jaime cover. Predator, Hell and High Water. This was drawn by Gene Colan, which is why I picked it up. The Rocketeer at War, just a random Rocketeer book. I never really got into it that much after Dave Stevens finished it. The Jam by Bernie Marat. This was a great series. Went through a lot of different publishers. Urban Adventure. Dark Horse. These are caliber issues. The Jam, Urban Adventure. This is from Kamiko. Oh, Matrix. I think Kamiko did one too. Chester Brown Underwater. This is a trippy comic. I don't even know how to describe it. It deals with language in a certain way, and I don't think the series was ever finished. And of course, the seminal Yummy Fur, Chester Brown's most famous work, I guess. These early issues 1, 2, and 3 were reprinted as mini comics, and then he goes into Ed the Happy Clown. I only saw this sporadically when it was coming out, and I wasn't a total fan at the time, but looking back, I really like Chester Brown's stuff. It was very diverse and interesting. Frankenstein. This is totally a thing of the 80s. I think these issues were as autobiographical, shocking at the time. I always pick these up when I see them cheap. I've done a lot of trading with my Yummy Furs. And that's that. This is another box of miscellaneous cool comics. Some Kirby. You know, a lot of people, on videos I see, people talking about comics, they're always into the high-grade comics. And I like high-grade comics as much as anybody. There's Dave Stevens. A little catch of Dave Stevens here. That's Frank Thorne. I don't mind buying lower grade comics, because what I've learned about lower grade comics is they generally hold their value. Higher grade comics keep going up. That's true. But the lower grade comics, they hold their value. So if I get a good deal on a low grade comic, I know that it's gonna, be like a quarter in the piggy bank. It's just gonna be there. It's not gonna grow. It's not gonna raise interest. But if down the road in 5 or 10 years, it will go up a little bit, and someone will probably want it. I like these funky science fiction stories. Usually have a lot of good artists in them. There's a lot of dollar books I picked up. Madame Xanadu, it's my Kaluta. Fun. I like Mike Kaluta's art. Flash Gordon. There's East Coast Comics, Weird Fantasy, 13. Mysteries of Unexplored Worlds. John Carter of Mars. That's pretty cool. And these are Russ Manning Magnus Robot Fighters. I dig those. This cover's by George Wilson. And Turok. More George Wilson goodness on the covers. Kona. I'm not sure who did that painting. Space Adventures. Good old Steve Ditko. Shanghai has sentimental value. It was my childhood friend, Topper Helmers, did the artwork on that. Charlton Bullseye. We got 2 issues on there. Tales of the Mysterious Traveler. It's a great Alex Nino cover. Man, I love Alex Nino's artwork. Ghostly Tales. I want to say that's a Don Newton painting on the cover. Shock Suspense Stories. This comic book stopped me from ever using heroin. I mean, in my life, I've used just about every drug that you can imagine in my younger days, drugs that were around then. And, but I never tried heroin because of this story. Selection of the Innocent. Those are Alex Toth. They have Alex Toth's reprint stories in them. Ghostly Tales. Kind of dig the Charltons. Ghost Manor. Midnight Tales. H.P. Lovecraft's Haunted Horror. That's by Richard Corbin. House of Mystery. These are double bagged. Bricktop, Glenn Fabry. That's kind of a cool little cover. Gen 13. Men of Mystery. Digest Special with Catman. Comic Book Comics. That was a fun title. I used to have a lot more of those. I don't know what ever happened to them. Girl Scouts by Jim Mahfood. That was a great series. Sonambulo. I bought these at a con from the artists. It's kind of a fun set. Let's see. I think there were 2 issues of that. Maybe I sold one. And just some cross-gen comics. Came out of dollar boxes. Pathways to Fantasy. Had a lot of great artists in it. I always thought that book should be worth something, but it's not worth anything. Tom Strong. That's Paul Galassi. Johnny Quest. I'm a big fan of Doug Wildey. 6 from Sirius. It's more Paul Galassi. Grip by it's like the whole series there from Gilbert Hernandez. Paul in the Country. That was a pretty good series. Paul by Michael Rubagliati. Mostly graphic novels, but I got that one little comic book. Salome by Craig Russell. Poison Elves, Hyena. I think I've got the whole series there. Not the whole series, but several issues. Sometimes I bag a bunch of comics together to save bags, boards. Astra, yeah. Ballant. Cosmic Clitty. It's an Eros comic by Gray Morrow. Bernie Wrightson. Master of the Macabre. Fun stuff. Nightmares. Paul Galassi goodness. And the Chronicles of Liv LaRoche. This was a extra that came with the Liam Sharp Kickstarter book. And Joe Kubert presents Dick Tracy. That's the all red cover. Tommaso art inside. Amazing Heroes. It's got an interview with our feature on Doug Wildey. Young Indiana Jones. It's a Gray Morrow issue. A couple of issues. I think Dan Barry did most of them. Ditko Kirby Wood. Kind of a fun little comic. The 3D adolescent radioactive black belt hamsters. Anything goes. Some more dollar books. I don't know why I bought that. Or that. This one has a lot of interesting artists worked on it, including Dave Stevens. Haha. I really liked the Roger Langridge issue, but then I bought subsequent issues and didn't care much for it. Black Zeppelin by Gene Day. Gene Day died young, smoked a lot of cigarettes, and worked too hard, and died way too young. I think he was in his 20s. Black Zeppelin, this was a science fiction series that he wanted to do. I think it was published posthumously. Gregory by Mark Hempel. Let's talk about commentary on mental health. This is a funny comic. I don't know how it lasted so long. And Breathtaker, also by Mark Hempel. This was really a fun title. Love, Death, Sex, Power. That's what it's all about. If you ever get a chance to read these, it's definitely a good read. This is an old Lucy comic, 3/4 cover, picked up somewhere. I'm not even sure what comic that is. Horse Without a Head, it's probably a 4-color. And Nancy Nebula, it's by a local Austin artist. And finally, I've got the Big Little Times, a fanzine for Big Little books. This next box is mostly indies, including my small but mighty underground collection and other cool stuff. First, we've got Cannibal Romance, Freak Brothers, Pat Freddy's Comics and Stories, so Von Baudet, The Man, Cheech Wizard, Schizophrenia, and the Collected Cheech Wizard, and the Complete Cheech Wizard. Harold Head. That's really a great book. Roger Brand, is that it? Or am I wrong? No, Rand Holmes, I'm sorry. I always get them confused. A Kurtzman cover on Snarf. Turn Down Cuties. Kurtzman Comics. Hup by Crumb. The Checkered Demon. Spain Subvert. Tales of the Toad. This one is the second appearance of Zippy the Pinhead. Fight comic, Girl Fight Comics. Anomaly, Fever Dreams, Zap Comics, Binky Brown meets the Holy Virgin Mary. This is a great book, really a great book. This is kind of a new thing. Cosmic Psychic Sorceress. Jack Jackson, Blood on the Moon. Curated El Alamo. I don't know how, my Spanish is terrible. That's also Jack Jackson. White Comanche, Jackson. Kim Deitch, Shadowland. Star Reach Classics. Horror Show with a great Richard Sala cover. Hot Stuff. California Girls, Trina. Mona, it's got a nice Jaime cover. Jaime Hernandez. Some 8 Ball. Dan Clowes. A lot of these I got from Comic Crack. Tip of the hat for my Canadian friend. Birdland. It's Jaime. It's Gilbert Hernandez. The Pogo Stick. 1 and 2. Zoot. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Man, I really want that Wonder Woman cover, but man, the prices are ridiculous. This comic was put out by the guy that owns my comic shop that I shop at. It's kind of a trippy book. Vertigo. This was an interesting project from Vertical from Vertigo. It's a comic book that's half a comic book, as you can see. I ran into another copy of it, so I had to pick it up. Everyman, more Mike Allred. Madman Adventures. The It Girl. And this Hero Special Edition has a cool Mike Allred cover. Now we come to Palookaville by Seth. This was a great series. Got a few duplicates here. Can't pass them up when I see them. Oh, 3 copies of that one. Glamour Puss. What's his name? Cerebus guy drawing like Stan Drake. Isn't it awful? I can't think of his name. Tom Strong's Terrific Tales. This has a great Jaime story in it. I think, yeah. And this one has a great Sergio Aragonés story in it. Seville Noir, that's got a Mobius Blueberry episode in it. Twisted Tales. This is another genre that I'm interested in. Religious comics. These first ones are from Atlas, drawn by Jerry Robinson. Of Batman fame. And there's Treasure Chest. This is a cool issue. It's got Dick Giordano there blowing the pipe, the flute, and the other artists from Treasure Chest. There's a lot of interesting stuff in Treasure Chest. Reed Crandall did quite a bit of art. Joe Simon, Vince Coletta. You know, I don't mind coverless comics if they're cheap. These are interesting. They used to give them away in church, and my sister saved them all these years. and I inherited them when she passed on. Sunday Picks. Kind of good artwork, actually. Treasure chest was a in school thing. These were given away at church, Sunday school. Just kind of an odd thing that I'm kind of glad to have in my collection. $1961. This is a box of cool stuff that's pretty much unsorted, stuff I've picked up recently or had for a while. This is Slutburger Stories by Mary Fleener, number 1 and number 2. Real Pulp Comics, number 1. This contains the first appearance of Zippy the Pinhead. Amazing Adult Fantasies, which is really New Paltz Comics number 2. This was edited by Michael T. Gilbert. Hydrogen Bomb Funnies. Soft Boy number 3. I wanted this book so bad back in the day. This came out in 2004, and I never could get my hands on it. And this is the Soft Boy and Friends Econo Combo, reprints issues 1 and 2. Near Myths by Trina Robbins. Tejano Exile by Jack Jackson. Story of Juan Seguin. Jackson's Illustrated Tales by Jack Jackson. 8 Ball number 9. Renegade Romance. It's got a cool Beto cover. Jungle Comics number 1 with the Dave Stevens cover. Hot Stuff. I think that's a Corbin cover. And Hot Stuff, that's a Kaluta cover. It's creator-owned heroes. I forget who did that cover. Oh, Scott Morris. Colliers by David Collier. It's a cool Canadian comic from Dot Drawing Quarterly. Bob Powell's Timeless Tales. Will Eisner's The Spirit. Another Bowen cover. Adventure Time. 13 O'Clock by Richard Sala. 13 Something by Dan Parent. Richard Corbin Cage. Shaolin Cowboy. Charlton Fighting Marines, Fighting Army. Space War. Wild Stars, it's got Frank Bruner cover. Harvey Hits, Art Balthazar cover. Stray Bullets, the race car. Silver Coin number 6, that was the last issue I needed to complete that run. And some Sergio Aragonés books. This is Guru Meets Tarzan. It's 1 through 3. It's all in one bag. I didn't bag them up separately. Louder than words, louder than words. Actions speak. Sergio Aragones, DC Special. Marvel Age with Gru. And some miscellaneous issues with Gru the Wanderer. These later issues are a little tough to find. Gru versus Conan. This is the whole set of Gru versus the Gods, 1, 2, 4, or 5, whatever it is. Santos Sisters, I think that's the first printing, and the second printing. Number 2, and number 3, and number 4, and number 5. Such a cool comic. Who would have thought it would have lasted so long? Adam Hughes cover of Black Widow, Elvira. I think I got these in a $1 box. Porcelain, $1 books. Free Comic Book Day, Judgment Day. Bug, Mike Allred series, more $1 books. Salem's Daughter, Greg Horn cover. Doom Patrol, Mike Allred. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles meet Usagi. That's one, and that's doing in there. Mamo, this was a cool series about witches. And Sacrificers number 5. I just picked that up. It's a coverless copy of an old Buster Brown comic. It's got a Dan Barry story in it. Very cool. Fanzine 76 with artwork by Mitch Sonata, Larry Nybert, and James Pack. They were some buddies of mine in Springfield, Ohio. Mr. Morris, it's the local artist. It's a school teacher who does a book about school teachers. This is Or Else number 2 by Kevin Huizinga. And number 4. This is my Liz Bailey collection. Layover, mini comic. My Brain Hurts, which is a really fun book. My Brain Hurts. Freewheel. Sing Along Forever. The story of meeting the Bouncing Souls. And she did a mini comic of the month club for a year in 2009. They came out a mini comic every month. First one, Squids and Heroes. Number 2. Number 3. 4. 5. Very inventive. I really like Liz Bailey. I don't know if she's still working or. 10, Field Guide to DeGrasso. Z Story. And number 12. I asked her to do a sketch for me of Power Girl, and this is her punk rock Power Girl. Liz Prince, Alone Forever. And Liz Prince, More Squares. Track Rabbit. That's a sketchbook. I forget the artist's name. Orifice. Alternatives. It's an old fanzine. Lunch Hour Comics. Ha. Horrible Cartoons by Ivan Brunetti. This was a print that I got from Lauren Perez. One Million Tiny Fires by Ashley Robin Franklin. "3D Pete's Star Babe Invasion." Very cool. Booberama. This is some weird thing. The Dangers of a Large City. Where Hats Go by Kurt Wolfgang. That's a silent comic. Mary Naomi, Not So Butch. And Estrus by Mary Naomi. And Estrus Comic Miscellaneous. Boobage by Monica Gallagher. And Snippets, also by Monica. These are all odd-sized books, so they slip and slide around. This is a collection of the first 4 issues of Monica Gallagher's Bonnie and Clyde, 9 to 5, a web comic. Very funny. And then she did these comics, Lipstick and Malice. 1, 2, 3. This is some mini comics by Shelby Criswell. Coughing Spell by Shelby Criswell. The Curse of the Mall King. It's entertaining. Hot Chip. That's a funny mini comic. Science Ghost 6. Bootleg of Horror. And Strip, all by Carlos Aguilar. He's a local San Antonio artist who writes draws and prints his own comics. Frankenstein Jones. Procrastination. And Comics Concussion. This is another box of miscellaneous cool comics. Some Kirby. You know, a lot of people, on videos I see, people talking about comics, they're always into the high-grade comics. And I like high-grade comics as much as anybody. There's Dave Stevens. A little catch of Dave Stevens here. That's Frank Thorne. I don't mind buying lower grade comics because what I've learned about, about lower grade comics is they generally hold their value. You know, higher grade comics keep going up, up, up. That's true. But the lower grade comics, they hold their value. So if I get a good deal on a low grade comic, I know that it's gonna, you know, be like a quarter in the piggy bank. It's just gonna be there. It's not gonna grow. It's not gonna raise interest. But, you know, if down the road in 5 or 10 years, it will go up a little bit, and someone will probably want it. I like these funky science fiction stories. Usually have a lot of good artists in them. There's a lot of dollar books I picked up. Madame Xanadu, it's my Kaluta. Fun. I like Mike Kaluta's art. Flash Gordon. There's East Coast Comics, Weird Fantasy, 13. Mysteries of Unexplored Worlds. John Carter of Mars, that's pretty cool. And there's Russ Manning, Magnus Robot Fighters. I dig those. This cover's by George Wilson. And Turok, more George Wilson goodness on the covers. Kona, I'm not sure who did that painting. Space Adventures, good old Steve Ditko. Shanghai has sentimental value. It was my childhood friend, Topper Helmers, did the artwork on that. Charlton Bullseye. I got 2 issues on there. Tales of the Mysterious Traveler. It's a great Alex Nino cover. Man, I love Alex Nino's artwork. Ghostly Tales. I want to say that's a Don Newton painting on the cover. Shock Suspense Stories. This comic book stopped me from ever using heroin. I mean, in my life, I've used just about every drug that you can imagine in my younger days, drugs that were around then. And but I never tried heroin because of this story. Seduction of the Innocent. Those are Alex Toth. They have Alex Toth's reprint stories in them. Another Ghostly Tales. Kind of dig the Charltons. Ghost Manor, Midnight Tales. H.P. Lovecraft's Haunted Horror, that's by Richard Corbin. House of Mystery. These are double bagged. Bricktop, Glenn Fabry. That's kind of a cool little cover. Gen 13. Men of Mystery. Digest Special with Catman. Comic Book Comics. That was a fun title. I used to have a lot more of those. I don't know what ever happened to them. Girl Scouts by Jim Mahfood. That was a great series. Sonambulo. I bought these at a con from the artists. It's kind of a fun set. Let's see. There were 2 issues of that. Maybe I sold one. And just some cross-gen comics. Came out of dollar boxes. Pathways to Fantasy. Had a lot of great artists in it. I always thought that book should be worth something, but it's not worth anything. Tom Strong. That's Paul Galassi. Johnny Quest. I'm a big fan of Doug Wildey. Six from Sirius. It's more Paul Galassi. Grip by that's like the whole series there from Gilbert Hernandez. Paul in the Country. That was a pretty good series. Paul by Michael Rabagliati. Mostly graphic novels, but I got that one little comic book. Salome by Craig Russell. Craig Russell. Poison Elves. Hyena. I think I've got the whole series there, or not the whole series, but several issues. Sometimes I bag a bunch of comics together to save bags, boards. Astra, yeah. Jim Ballant. Cosmic Clitty, it's an Eros comic by Gray Morrow. Bernie Wrightson. Master of the Macabre. Fun stuff. Nightmares. Paul Galassi goodness. And the Chronicles of Lib LaRoche. This was a extra that came with the Liam Sharp Kickstarter book. And Joe Kubert presents Dick Tracy. That's the all-red cover. Tommaso art inside. Amazing Heroes. That's got an interview with our feature on Doug Wildey. Young Indiana Jones. It's a Gray Morrow issue. A couple of issues. I think Dan Barry did most of them. Ditko Kirby Wood. Kind of a fun little comic. The 3D adolescent radioactive black belt hamsters. Anything goes. Some more dollar books. I don't know why I bought that. Or that. This one has a lot of interesting artists worked on it, including Dave Stevens. Haha. I really liked the Roger Langridge issue, but then I bought subsequent issues and didn't care much for it. Black Zeppelin by Gene Day. Gene Day died young, smoked a lot of cigarettes and worked too hard, and died way too young. I think he was in his 20s. Black Zeppelin, this was a science fiction series that he wanted to do. I think it was published posthumously. Gregory by Mark Hempel. Let's talk about commentary on mental health. This is a funny comic. I don't know how it lasted so long. And Breathtaker, also by Mark Hempel. This was really a fun title. Love, Death, Sex, Power. That's what it's all about. If you ever get a chance to read these, it's definitely a good read. This is an old Lucy comic, 3/4 cover, picked up somewhere. I'm not even sure what comic that is. Horse Without a Head, it's probably a 4-color. And Nancy Nebula, it's by a local Austin artist. And finally, I've got the Big Little Times, a fanzine for Big Little books. This is a box of cool stuff that's pretty much unsorted stuff I've picked up recently or had for a while. This is Slutburger Stories by Mary Fleener, number 1 and number 2. Real Pulp Comics, number 1. This contains the first appearance of Zippy the Pinhead. Amazing Adult Fantasies, which is really New Paltz Comics number 2. This was edited by Michael T. Gilbert. Hydrogen Bomb Funnies. Soft Boy number 3. I wanted this book so bad back in the day. This came out in 2004, and I never could get my hands on it. And this is the Soft Boy and Friends Econo Combo, reprints issues 1 and 2. Near Myths by Trina Robbins. Tejano Exile by Jack Jackson. Story of Juan Seguin. Jackson's Illustrated Tales by Jack Jackson. 8 Ball number 9. Dan Clowes. Creatures on the Loose number 20. It's a Gil Kane cover, but it's got a Gray Morrow story. And this Omega Man number 24, this also has a Gray Morrow story. And this is Jonah Hex number 90, which is also by Gray Morrow. Renegade Romance, it's got a cool Beto cover. Jungle Comics number 1 with the Dave Stevens cover. Hot Stuff, I think that's a Corbin cover. And Hot Stuff, that's a Kaluta cover. It's creator-owned heroes. I forget who did that cover. Oh, Scott Morse. Colliers by David Collier. It's a cool Canadian comic from Dot Drawing Quarterly. Bob Powell's Timeless Tales. House of Secrets. The Mark Merlin. Batman Family. That's like the first meeting of Catwoman and Poison Ivy. I think it blew up in price. Wonder Woman, a Bolin cover. Will Eisner's The Spirit, another Bolin cover. Adventure Time. 13 O'Clock by Richard Sala. 13 Something by Dan Parent. Richard Corbin Cage. Shaolin Cowboy. Charlton Fighting Marines, Fighting Army. Space War. Space War. Space War. Master of Kung Fu, cool Galassi cover. I'm closing in on my Master of Kung Fu collection. I just picked up these recently in a trade. Like Zek issues. Cool Mike Zek and Gene Day cover. Wild Stars, it's got a Frank Bruner cover. Harvey Hits, Art Balthazar cover. Stray Bullets, Ain't a Race Car. Silver coin number 6. That was the last issue I needed to complete that run. And some Sergio Aragonés books. This is Guru Meets Tarzan. It's 1 through 3. It's all in one bag. I didn't bag them up separately. Louder Than Words, Louder Than Words. Actions Speak. Sergio Aragonés, DC Special. Marvel Age with Gru. And some miscellaneous issues of Gru the Wanderer. These later issues are a little tough to find. Gru versus Conan. This is the whole set of Gru versus the Gods, 1 through 4 or 5, whatever it is. Santos Sisters. I think that's the first printing. And the second printing. Number 2. And number 3. Number 4. And number 5. Such a cool comic. Who would have thought it would have lasted so long? Adam Hughes cover of Black Widow, Elvira. I think I got these in a $1 box. Batman Audio Adventures, Porcelain, or $1 books. For Comic Book Day, Judgment Day. Bug. Mike Allred series. More $1 books. Salem's Daughter. Greg Horn cover. Doom Patrol. Mike Allred. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles meet Usagi. That's 1 and 2. Uh-oh. The Atomics number 1. Black Knight number 1. Warlock Chronicles. I don't know what that's doing in there. Mamo. This was a cool series about witches. And then these are the reprints. I'm a sucker for these facsimiles. Action, Superman, Batman. This is the Millennium edition. Detective 27, 38, 58, 140. All-Star 3 with a foil. Wonder Woman foil. All-American, the Marvel Family, Wiz Comics, Amazing Spider-Man, Incredible Hulk, the Avengers, and the X-Men, and Sacrificers number 5. I just picked that up. This next box is mostly indies, including my small but mighty underground collection. And other cool stuff. First, we've got Cannibal Romance, Freak Brothers, Pat Freddy's Comics and Stories, so Von Bode, The Man, Cheech Wizard, Schizophrenia, and the Collected Cheech Wizard, and the Complete Cheech Wizard. Harold Head. That's really a great book. Roger Brand, is that it? Or am I wrong? No, Rand Holmes, I'm sorry. I always get them confused. A Kurtzman cover on Snarf. Turn On Cuties. Kurtzman Comics. Hup. Crumb. The Checkered Demon. Spain Subvert. Tales of the Toad. This one is the second appearance of Zippy the Pinhead. Fight Comic, Girl Fight Comics. Anomaly. Fever Dreams. Zap Comics. Binky Brown meets the Holy Virgin Mary. This is a great book. Really a great book. This is kind of a new thing. Cosmic Psychic Sorceress. Jack Jackson, Blood on the Moon. Curated El Alamo. I don't know how, my Spanish is terrible. That's also Jack Jackson. White Comanche, Jackson. Kim Deitch, Shadowland. Star Reach Classics. Horror Show with a great Richard Sala cover. Hot Stuff. California Girls, Trina. Mona, it's got a nice Jaime cover. Jaime Hernandez. Some 8 Ball. Dan Clowes. A lot of these I got from Comic Crack. Tip of the hat for my Canadian friend. Birdland. It's Jaime. It's Gilbert Hernandez. The Pogo Stick. 1 and 2. Zoot. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Man, I really want that Wonder Woman cover, but man, the prices are ridiculous. This comic was put out by the guy that owns my comic shop that I shop at. It's kind of a trippy book. Vertigo. This was an interesting project from Vertical from Vertigo. It's a comic book that's half a comic book, as you can see. I ran into another copy of it, so I had to pick it up. Everyman, more Mike Allred. Madman Adventures. The It Girl. And this Hero Special Edition has a cool Mike Allred cover. Now we come to Palookaville by Seth. This was a great series. Got a few duplicates here. Can't pass them up when I see them. Oh, 3 copies of that one. Glamour Puss. What's his name? Cerebus guy drawing like Stan Drake. Isn't it awful? I can't think of his name. Tom Strong's Terrific Tales. This has a great Jaime story in it, I think. Yeah. And this one has a great Sergio Aragonés story in it. Civil Noir, that's got a Mobius Blueberry episode in it. Twisted Tales. This is another genre that I'm interested in. religious comics. These are these first ones are from Atlas, drawn by Jerry Robinson. Of Batman fame. And there's Treasure Chest. This is a cool issue. It's got Dick Giordano there blowing the pipe, the flute, and the other artists from Treasure Chest. There's a lot of interesting stuff in Treasure Chest. Reed Crandall did quite a bit of art. Joe Simon, Vince Coletta. You know, I don't mind coverless comics if they're cheap. These are interesting. They used to give them away in church, and my sister saved them all these years, and I inherited them when she passed on. Sunday Picks. Kind of good artwork, actually. Treasure Chest was an in-school thing. These were given away at church, Sunday school. Just kind of an odd thing that I'm kind of glad to have in my collection. '61. This box is primarily my Tarzan collection, although it does have some oddball things that have been stuck in the front, like this Madhouse. I like these issues with the wild borders. And Herbie, good old Fat Fury. And I got some Classics Illustrated. Moby Dick, illustrated by Bill Sienkiewicz. And Treasure Island by Pat Boyette. Kind of proud of those. Now we get into Tarzan. So the Jungle Annuals, the covers by Morris Gullib. Most of these old Tarzans I got from my local comic shop, and I don't know whether it's true or not, but the guy told me that they belonged to the artist Tim Hildebrandt when he was a child, and he acquired them from his mother, who, I don't know, I guess lives here locally, I'm not sure, but they said that she had sold, his art and stuff, and that these comic books were too beat up that no one wanted to buy them, so he got them. But it just so happens that I love beat up comic books, and I got them at a good price. All these issues are drawn by Jesse Marsh. Marsh was Edgar Rice Burroughs' favorite Tarzan artist, I've been told. And they have backup features by Russ Manning, who's one of my favorites. And he did The Brothers of the Spear in the back. Some of these later issues, Russ Manning took over too. I think that's a Russ Manning issue. I guess they're kind of out of order here. Photo covers are kind of boring. I think That's another Morse Golub. I think that's George Wilson, who did a lot of covers for Dell and Gold Key in the 60s. This is a Doug Wildey issue, I think. Doug Wildey did about 6 or 8 issues. I've got most of them. He's pretty interesting. I'm a big fan of Doug Wildey. And these are the DC Tarzans by Joe Kubert. Always cool. Just have a few of these. This is a catch-all box of all kinds of weird stuff. So I love these 100-page giants. And got some Teen Titans, those great Nick Cardy covers. Starfire by George Perez. Time Warp. Free DC comic. Gotham Knights. This is a great bowling cover. Isn't that awesome? Neil the Horse by Arn Saba. Some Wonder Woman. Ego by Darwin Cook. What a man. Batman and the Spirit, also by Darwin. The Spirit. Yeah, this was a great series. I sold all mine that I bought when they came out, and I got this run cheap on eBay, except for this one. This is the one that Darwin inked over J. Bone. And this is a Mike Plug issue. And even more Darwin. Minuteman. This book was so hard to find when I was young. It was Bernie Wrightson, and man, you couldn't get it for love or money. Now it's a $5 book. Nightmaster. And this is the first appearance of King Kull from Creatures on the Loose. The Phantom. These are a Pat Boyd issue. Those are the ones I usually buy. Journey to Mystery. This is a great Gil Kane book. Valley of the Worm, supernatural thrillers. Fear. These giants are fun. Monsters on the Prowl. Where Monsters Dwell. Some Charlton. Ghostly Tales. Midnight Tales. Weird Wonder Tales. Monsters on the Prowl. This is Democracy. How'd that get there? Jerry Lewis with Batman. Doc Savage, Man of Bronze, with a Steranko cover. A couple of Barbie issues with Amanda Connor covers. And more Amanda Connor goodness. I love this Cho cover with it's a Wally Wood homage. And a Dan Parent cover. The heroes in a Black Hawk. Superman and Wonder Woman Radio Shack giveaway. House of Yang. House of Secrets. It's got a Mort Meskin cover and story inside. Jack Q. Frost. Dark Shadows. The new Millie the Model. Queen size special. Yeah, it's more Millie. Adam Hughes Black Widow. And some miscellaneous DC stuff I think I got in dollar boxes. Yeah, this is all dollar books. Flawed. I don't know, kind of interesting. I think I read 1 or 2 issues. My Bad. That's a fun book. Never Never. The first 3. Kea. Shout out to the Sunday chat with LaRasa and Comic Crack. They turned me on to this book. And that's that. It's a coverless copy of an old Buster Brown comic. It's got a Dan Barry story in it. Very cool. Fanzine 76 with artwork by Mitch Sonata, Larry Nybert, and James Pack. They were some buddies of mine in Springfield, Ohio. Mr. Morris, it's a local artist. He's a school teacher who does a book about school teachers. This is Or Else number 2 by Kevin Huizinga. And number 4. This is my Liz Bailey collection. Layover, mini comic. My Brain Hurts, which is a really fun book. My Brain Hurts. Freewheel. Sing Along Forever. Story of meeting the Bouncing Souls. And she did a mini comic of the month club for a year in 2009. They came out a mini comic every month. This first one, Squids and Heroes. Number 2. Number 3. 4. 5. Very inventive. I really like Liz Bailey. I don't know if she's still working or. Number 9. Number 10. Field Guide to DeGrasso. Z Story. And number 12. I asked her to do a sketch for me of Power Girl, and this is her punk rock Power Girl. Liz Prince, Alone Forever, and Liz Prince, More Squares, Track Rabbit. That's a sketchbook. I forget the artist's name. Orifice. Alternatives. It's an old fanzine. Lunch Hour Comics. Ha! Horrible Cartoons by Ivan Brunetti. This was a print that I got from Lauren Perez. "1 Million Tiny Fires" by Ashley Robin Franklin. "3D Pete's Star Babe Invasion." Very cool. Boobarama. This is some weird thing. "The Dangers of a Large City." "Where Hats Go" by Kurt Wolfgang. That's a silent comic. "Mary Naomi, Not So Butch." And "Estrus" by Mary Naomi. And Estrus Comic Miscellaneous. "Boobage" by Monica Gallagher. And "Snippets," also by Monica. These are all odd-sized books, so they slip and slide around. This is a collection of the first 4 issues of Monica Gallagher's Bonnie and Clyde 9 to 5, a web comic. Very funny. And then she did these comics, Lipstick and Malice. 1, 2, 3. This is some mini comics by Shelby Criswell. Coughing Spell by Shelby Criswell. The Curse of the Mall King. It's entertaining. Hot Chip. That's a funny mini comic. Science Ghost 6. Bootleg of Horror. And Strip, all by Carlos Aguilar. He's a local San Antonio artist who writes draws and prints his own comics. Frankenstein Jones. Procrastination. And Comics Concussion.
Hello again. This box is new acquisitions from the new year, 2024. And also, I put it in a box of stuff that I found in my foreign comic book collection and also some miscellaneous magazines. So I was thrilled to get my Grail set, most of my Grail set of Evil Eye by Richard Sala. This book, I loved it when it was coming out, and I loved it for years. I don't know why I sold it. I sold off most of my comic books probably around 2012, 2013, and I really regret buying and selling some of the comics that I bought at that time. But I got this set of 1 through 9 on eBay, and I just got it on the 3rd. So these were my first comics of 2024. And I also picked up at the comic shop a couple of Doug Wildey Johnny Quest classics. Those are really nice. I have stories by Doug Wildey and wraparound covers. This is a Fred Ray Tomahawk 10-cent comic. And another one of these Frazetta Death Dealers. And out of Dollar Box, I got My Bad #1. I kind of enjoyed that series. And then at Half Price Books, this last couple of days, I scored a bunch of these all-star westerns that mostly filled in my collection for $2 each. All-star Western 1, 2, some great Jonah Hex stories by Palmiotti and Gray with some good artists. So now I only need like 4 or 5 issues to complete this run. Looking forward to reading these. There's a Darwin cover. And also at Half Price Books, I got this Walt Kelly Pogo book, Pika book, with a semi-infinity cover on there. And a score, I had some gift cards, and they had this Sabrina #1, Sabrina the Teenage Witch #1 from 1971, with the Dan DiCarlo cover. They had it marked down from $250 to $75, and I had $50 in gift cards in a discount coupon, so I ended up getting it for about $25, and it's, I don't know if you can tell, but it's pretty high grade. It's a solid 7.5. And I also picked up this Detective 407, Frank Robbins and Neil Adams with the Gil Kane Batgirl backup. And this High School Romance with a Warren Kramer cover. And then I picked up some dollar books. Nakayama Catwoman cover. Kea, that's a good book, good series. Hellcat. Sheena, and that's a blank cover. Now these are my foreign comics. Most of what I have, I got from my friend Eduardo on Twitter. These are from Colombia. Some Fox and Crows. I love this cover. It looks like Foxy is smoking a big old doober. Man, look at that look on his face. El Zorro, I guess Zora is Fox and Cuero is Crow. I'm a big Fox and Crow fan, so I was glad to get these. And here's a Colombian Archie. And Tarzan. Another Tarzan. This is a native to Columbia Comics. Leyendas de America, Stories of America, I guess. And Little Lulu. Also a big Little Lulu fan. And Perquita, Nancy. And this is a Mexican Sergeant Fury comic. You can tell it's kind of a sexy story. Espia 13, I'm not sure what that's from. Also from Mexico. This is another Colombian comic book. Eduardo told me that this was the first ever indigenous Colombian comic. It's not indigenous, it's a reprint, of course, of Cardo Maltese, is that who that is? But it was published in Colombia. And this is a Colombian Superman comic. I've got some more somewhere, but I don't know what happened to them. I was a big Donna Troy fan. I had the statue somewhere. And so I've got some program books here from conventions I went to. This was the, what is it called? The First occasional Lone Star Science Fiction Convention in Chili Cook-Off. I think that was about 1985, if I'm not mistaken. And I got some other stuff here. Fox Comics, Overstreet Price Update, Acme Press Aces, Sinner, good stuff. Particle Dreams, Matt Howarth. Shout out to Comic Crack. Heavy Metal. And National Lampoon. And a couple of Mads. This is an interesting magazine, Comic Book Profiles. This is the Archie Goodwin issue. And it has testimonials, I guess, from people who worked with him. It's an interesting magazine. Comics Collector. It had an EC story or article in it. I guess that's why I liked it. Savage Tales. 20 Years of Cartoons by Jim Ivey, my old mentor. And this is an old art magazine, art sale magazine. And he also put on Orlando Con. This is a comic book from Orlando Con 1981, which I attended, although Dick Brown didn't show up. And this is a souvenir book from Detroit Triple Fanfare in 1976, which I also attended. And my backup copy of WonderCon 2008, which I also attended. And so Comics Journal with Will Eisner, and an old comic buyer's guide. Those are a bunch of Calvin and Hobbes Sunday pages. This box has most of the new comics that I read over the last, I don't know, year or two or three. A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. Man, this was a good title. Was it last year? One of the best from last year. This was a Mike Magnolia book. And Sam Glanzman. Batgirls, I don't know. I tried it. I didn't keep going with it. Same with Batman Reptilian. I mean, I like Liam Sharp, and I like Garth Ennis, but I don't know, I just didn't dig this too much. Beast of Burden, Evan Dorkin, and Sarah Dyer, and Benjamin Dewey. It's a great series, really a good series. And Bill and Ted Are Doomed, Evan Dorkin and Roger Langridge. Very funny, good series. Barbarella #1, I just bought it for the Brian Boland cover. Berserker #1. I got that in the dollar box, but I wasn't impressed. Creepshow, just like that cover. That Franco Bellicava, I can't pronounce his name. Dirtbag Raptor by what's the guy's name? Sabila and Good. That was really a fun, interesting series about this woman who can talk to ghosts and help them to resolve their issues. It's good
Good book, good story. Dwellings by J. Stevens. These were self-published, the early ones. I bought them through, not Kickstarter, but I forget the name of the self-publishing thing. And, I paid 25 bucks an issue for them just to support the artist. And it's good stories, good stuff. And then they reprinted them in Omnipress, reprinted the books in these $10 volumes. Worth picking up. Fight Girls. I bought the first issue of this and I didn't continue with it. I kind of now wish I had. I figured maybe I'd pick them up in dollar boxes. Sergio Aragonés grew in the wild. What can I say? Grew is grew. Girl Scouts by Jim Mahfood. I only lasted 2 issues on that. Gabrielle Bell, Career Shoplifter. She's really good. The Good Asian. This started out really strong. I liked it a lot. And I don't know, as it went on, I kind of lost interest. I don't think I ever finished it. I figured maybe I'd pick up the last issues in the dollar boxes somewhere. This is a new one. Zoe Thorogood on Hack Slash Back to School. It's pretty good. I enjoy her work. Ha Ha. This is a wordless comic by drawn by Roger Langridge. That's why I picked it up. Fantastic Four #1. I thought I'd give it a try, but didn't do anything for me. Classic Alex Schomburg cover on this. Killer Queens. That's another one. Didn't really do anything for me. Carmen, on the other hand, I really liked a lot. Gilliam Marsh. This is the variant cover by Milo Manera. And Carmen, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really good story. And this was Gilliam Marsh's follow-up. I think it's a reprint from European Comics. Laura. I think there were only 3 issues of this. I never saw any more. Love Everlasting by Tom King and Elsa Chartier. She's a really good artist. I really like her work. And Marjorie Finnegan, Garth Ennis's kind of a time travel, temporal criminal. This was a pretty good story. I stuck with it till the end, although I think I missed an issue somewhere along the line. Probably never find it. And Noctera. This was really an entertaining title. Blacktop Bill special. And the Val special. I took like a year off or something, 6 months or whatever. I came back with #12. I like Tony S. Daniels' art. It's a pretty good series. I'm not sure if it concluded. I admit that I haven't read the last few issues. Not sure whether it concluded or whether it's still going. I haven't seen an issue in a while. And Rain by Zoe Thorogood. I can't remember. I think I saw something before Rain that she did that I liked, but I can't remember what it was. Red Room. Take it or leave it. I got the free comic book issue. Sacrificer by Rick Remender. And who's the artist? Max. It's good art. Max Fiumara. It's a pretty good series. I think I'm a couple issues behind in my reading, but I kind of enjoy it. I understand that it gets better in this issue. The Santos sisters, I've been with them since the beginning. They were in another box. This was the Halloween special. Savage Avengers. I started this series in like number 12 or something. I was just intrigued by Conan being in the Avengers, and I came onto it late. So I'm trying to pick up the earlier issues, but just reading from whatever issue I started, I think maybe this was maybe the first issue or 15. And I was just intrigued by the story, and I really enjoyed it. Wild Avengers lineup. Savage Avengers. So that was the first series. It was written by who's it written by? Oh yeah, Gary Dugan and drawn by Patrick Silker. Many of the issues, I really like those. And what was his name? Papoy did the second series, and it started out okay, but I think they had some trouble with the rights to Conan, so he dropped out, and I kind of lost interest. So that's that box. This is my second reading box from the last few years. Scumbag by Rick Remender. This was a pretty good series. World's fate depends on the worst person there, or something like that. The Scumbag. Interesting thing about this series is they had a different artist on every issue. Space Yasagi, Sergeant Rock, and the Army of the Dead. That series kind of petered out. It kind of had everything it had to say in the first and second issues, I think. Second Coming. Second Coming, Only Begotten Son. And Second Coming, Trinity. Silver Coin. This is another one with the same writer. Or no, this was different writers on every issue and the same artist. This was a pretty good series. Silver Coin, and it goes from person to person like a monkey's paw. Good horror stuff. Not a big horror fan, but I enjoyed this series. Starhenge by Liam Sharp. So it's kind of an interesting sci-fi. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, Tom King and Big Bisquith Everly. I can't remember her name. The art was really fantastic in this story. The story was good, but the art was really good. And the coloring by Lopes is very good. Superman Space War. 1, 2, and 3. Art by Mike Allred. Tarna from Heavy Metal. It was an interesting series. The Purple Oblivion. I thought there were 3 issues of that. 1, 2, 3. Shaolin Cowboy. Cruel to Be Kin. The Variants, the Gail Simone series, and Phil Noto. It's a good series. Wonder Woman, Wonder Girl, Wonder X-Ray Robot by Michael Allred. That was a fun series. And Zorro. And finally this year it was, this was last year I guess, Human Target by Tom King and Greg Smallwood. I haven't bagged those individually yet. They're just all in a brick. I guess there was, what, 10, 12 issues of that. Good series. Okay, this is the final box in my modest collection. Starting out with Nathan Zerdy, this Power Girl. Well, it took me a long time to get this book. Another Zerdy, Harley Quinn. Another Zerdy. Power Girl. I think that's Art John. Is that who that is? I'm not sure. Amanda Connor. Adam Hughes. You can tell I like Power Girl, huh? Amanda Connor. She's another Amanda Connor. It's a little vain. David Nakayama. I forget who this guy is. Adam Hughes. Adam Hughes. More Adam Hughes. So Dave Stevens. There's Art Germ. Terry Dodson. How about Vince Coletta? Wow. And Morris Weiss. Of course, Dan DiCarlo. And there's a play on that famous cover by Dan Parent. It's more Amanda Connor. I love this series. This was so good. The Invincible Red Sonja. Linsner cover. But I like the Amanda Connor ones best. And this series, Codename Knockout, I kind of liked it at the time. That's a shadow cover. And they started coming out with these Frank Frazetta covers, $5 comics. I'm just a sucker for them. I can't pass them up. Oh, I wondered what happened to that issue. Dawn Attack, more Frazetta. I think that's not a Frazetta. Mothman. Frazetta. Frank Frazetta, Science Fantasy. Tales of Science Fantasy. That's a Gray Morrow issue. Is that Art Germ? I'm not sure who did that. These are Mike Mignola covers, I think. This was a good series. Pulled all these out of dollar boxes. And Evan Dorkin. I think this one would have been in another box. I'm proud of that one. Yeah, I think this is a stack of dollar boxes that got moved in. Dollar books that got moved from another box. That's Jack Kirby and Alex Toth on the inside. Very cool. Steve Ditko. These are Gray Morrow, the Spectres. Charles Weiss covers, I think. And some treasure chests that I got out of dollar boxes. I think he threw these in for free. And finally, this hardcover reprint of Marvel Comics #1. Thanks for lasting so long. If you like this video, like it. And please comment. I'd love to hear what you have to say.